Hi, families. This is Darian Jaramillo. I'm the principal at Las Lunas High School, and I wanted to provide you some information as we get ready to come back to school. I have a lot of information to share with you, and so I will go through this as quickly as possible, and hopefully it will answer some of your questions. So this presentation, we will go over a few different topics. We were going to talk about the times and dates of return, the student schedules, as those will be a little bit different. We will talk about protocols, student arrival and departure, transitions as they are on campus, and then just some important dates as we get to the end of the school year. So first of all, students will be returning on Tuesday, April 6th. Keep in mind, we are off April 2nd and April 5th, that Friday and Monday. So students will be coming back on campus on the 6th if they choose to. If students decide to remain remote, that will be perfectly fine. Our last day of school will be May 26th. Seniors, their last day is a little bit sooner, but we will go over that here in a minute. Some of the changes that are going to take place starting April 6th is that students now will be going to class Monday through Friday. Wednesdays will be alternating days, which I will show you a calendar here in a little bit. Also, another major change are the class times. So classes will now begin at 7:40 and we will end at 1:30. Students will have approximately 4 or 5 classes during the time of being there from 7:40 to 1:30. And then we will also be serving lunch. So here is a schedule of April and May. If you notice, we start on April 6th, which is a B day. Previously, students had their A day classes on Monday and Thursday. Those are your A days. And then Tuesdays and Fridays are your B day classes, which those will remain the same. But just take note of your Wednesdays. So they're alternating for the most part. If you just kind of print this out and keep this close to you so you know which days are A days and B days, specifically for Wednesdays. Here is what our bell schedule is going to look like. If students have a 1A or a 1B class, notice the time is at 7:40 a.m. Each class is about an hour long. The 2A classes and 2B classes begin at 8:45. 3A and 3B will begin at 9:50. Students, if you notice, we will have 2 lunches. If your 4th period class, if you are in the lower level parts of the building, or you have classes that are in the lower part of the building, for the most part, those students will have lunch at 11:25. And then students that have the second lunch, your 4th period will be at 10:55. So you'll need to look at your schedule to see which teacher you have for 4th period, and that will determine if you will be in the first lunch or the second lunch. Students that are remaining remote, you will also kind of look at where your class is if you were to be on campus. So if you were on campus and you had a teacher that was in the lower level, you would be attending the first lunch. So whether you're remote or you're in person, you will follow that same time dependent on your 4th period. And then if you have a 5th and 6th are the same times that you'll see on your schedule, you will have that from 12:30 to 1:30. If you notice, that's primarily for advisory classes, the athletics, band, and yearbook are the times for those 5th and 6th period classes. Teachers from 1:30 to 2:45, that's their prep time. They can also have office hours. So if you need additional help, teachers will be available to you at that time. Okay, so I wanted to share with you some different types of schedules. So this is the kids that come on campus. We're having reorientation this coming week. On Tuesday is for 11th and 12th graders. Those students will come on campus, pick up their schedule that will start April 6th. If the students wish to stay on campus, they can kind of go through their class schedule, which is the one that we're doing right now and currently have been doing all year. That's what they'll do on Tuesday. But it just gives them an opportunity to come onto campus and kind of see how things are working. Our 10th and 9th graders, 9th and 10th graders, Thursday, they will come for reorientation and they will be able to pick up their schedules as well. If you choose not to come to reorientation this coming week, when you come to school on April 6th, we will have some stations set up for you to see your new schedule. So again, student schedules really aren't changing, it's just the times. So here's an example of a student schedule. This particular student, they selected to be in person. They are a student where the parent will be dropping them off. And so this first part that's at the top is an A week, meaning that's the Wednesday, they have an A schedule. So if you notice, this student is a parent drop off. On Monday, they have a first period is their English, second period is their history. Then if you notice, they don't have any classes third or fourth period. So parents can come pick them up after their 9:45 class, and that's on their A day. So they basically have early dismissal. Then look at their B day classes on Tuesdays and Fridays. Their first class isn't until second period, which is at 8:45. So we have placed this student in study hall. They are welcome to come to study hall at 7:40, or if their parent wants to drop them off at 8:45 prior to class, they can do that as well. If you notice, they have study hall third period. The reason why they can't leave is because they have a fourth period, Mr. Sanchez. So they have geometry fourth period. So if you are a student like this, where you have a open period, you will be placed in a study hall. We have some students that had signed up for art previously. And so some of our students will be placed in an art class or maybe even in a computer apps class. And those aren't going to be for credit or a grade. It's just for those students if they want to have an opportunity to get some extra, have kind of an extra fun class with hands-on and just kind of an exploratory class for their open period. But for the most part, students will be going to a study hall during their open periods. And so that's kind of how the schedule works. Let's look at another student's schedule. This particular student, they selected in person. They are a driver. And so this student, if you look at their Monday schedule, their A days, again, Monday and Thursdays, they don't have a class until 9:50. And so this student does not need to come on campus until 9:50. Then they have an English class, fourth period. And then after that, they are finished for the day. So they can stay and eat lunch and then they can leave, or they can leave right after their 11:50 class. Then take note of their Tuesday, Friday, their B days. And again, I'm looking on this week where there's a Wednesday as an A day. So on Tuesday, their first class isn't until 8:45. So they do not need to come onto campus until 8:45. They have a study hall because they have an open period. And so they will go to that particular class for study hall. There's quite a few students taking credit recovery Apex classes. They also can use that time to make up any work, do work, do their homework, get any help from their study hall teacher as well. And then that student will go to fourth period, which is at 10:55. They have lunch and then they have band. So that person will have to remain on campus until 1:30. If you hop down to sample week, Wednesday is a B week. Again, it's the same schedule. It's just their Wednesdays are B days. Okay, now here's where it gets a little bit different. Students that have elected to be in person. they will be riding the bus. If you notice, let's look at this student's A days. They will be on campus at 7:40 because they ride the bus. So they will be there anywhere from 7:15 to 7:30. They will go to English. They will go to history. They have an open period, so they'll have to go to study hall for third period. They have lunch, and then their fourth period is a study hall again because they have an open period. And then they have Mr. Abe Anderson for a course. And so because they have Mr. Anderson for a course, they will stay until 1:30 because the buses don't leave until 1:30. So again, if you are a bus student, you will most likely be placed in a study hall or into like an elective class or an advisory class from 12:30 to 1:30. And you can take advantage of getting extra help during that time, getting homework done, doing credit recovery, any of that kinds of things. So if you are a bus student, you will be staying until 1:30. This one, this is a sample student that is going to be remaining remote. So those of you that are listening to this presentation that will be remaining remote, the only thing that's going to change with your schedule are the times. You're still going to have the exact same classes. And so like if you have an open period, you just don't log into your class just like you do from home now. So again, please take note of the start and end times of each class, because that's really the only thing that will change for our students that are remaining remote. There are students that are remote that are athletes and or band members. You will be coming back on campus. If you decide to remain remote, you are allowed, but then when you have your athletic period, then you will come to your athletic period at the end of the day. I hope those all make sense. I know it's a little different, but if you have questions, please call the school or have your student ask one of their teachers. Okay, so again, this is kind of just a reiteration of what's happening. Students not returning to campus will complete their current schedules in a remote setting. Students returning to campus will continue their core classes that they've started since the beginning of the year. Again, like I said, if they have an open period, they will go to a study hall. There are a few students in open periods that may go to an art class or a computer apps. And it is just for, like I said, a fun hands-on class where students will get to do some fun activities. Again, I can't stress enough about the class start and end times, as those will be changing. Our teachers in the classrooms will be utilizing a blended learning model. So that means they're going to have both students in person, and then they're also going to have their remote students zooming into the class period. So this is a learning experience for everybody. We will just be working through it and getting better as we go through the end of the year. Remote students that have been participating in Spanish, TIWA, band, ROTC, video production, yearbook, and team sports, your elective classes will be for a credit because you have been in them for the entire year. Remote and in-person students that are in APEX classes for credit recovery, you will continue those just as you've been the entire year. If you are a remote APEX, obviously you're going to just stay remote. Students that are coming on campus and you are doing APEX on your schedule, if you have an APEX class on your schedule, it will have you assigned to your APEX teacher and you will go to their class for your APEX class time. Okay, let's just talk about some protocol because this is going to be a little bit different. We want to ensure the safety of everybody on campus. Students and staff will all be screened upon arrival at Las Lunas High School. There will be a questionnaire that they have to take. We'll have a QR code that they can just use their phone. They'll have their temperature taken. Once their temperature is taken, they'll click on the QR code and fill out that form. They will have to do that every single day. Students will have to wear, well, everybody on campus will have to wear a mask at all times. Make sure that it's doubled material. No gaiters or bandanas, the things that you can pull up over your face, those are not allowed. Students that come without a mask, we will have extra masks for you. So again, please make sure that you come with a mask. Social distancing is expected by all staff and students. Again, the 6-foot rule is what we will be adhering to. The CDC and New Mexico PED also mentioned, there are some situations where you won't be able to do the 6-foot social distancing, but it's to the greatest extent possible. So we will also be making sure that we do that as well. Each classroom will be sanitized after every period. So students and teachers will be wiping down their desks after each period. We have plenty of wipes and cleaning materials and supplies to help with that. Also, each classroom has been added a filtration system. So you'll notice in the classroom that there's a filter that will be running during the class time. No eating in groups. When you are in the cafeteria, each table will be set up distanced apart. We're looking at probably having 1 to 2 students sitting at a table at each table. And we will also need to be eating outside and inside. So we'll kind of monitor that, and it'll also be dependent on the weather. So again, we can't eat in large groups. It'll be 1 or 2 students at a table at a time. When students have to go to the restroom, there will be no more than 1 student allowed out of class at a time. Students will notice there'll be signs outside of the bathroom where there's only 3 students allowed in the bathroom at a time. We'll make sure that we have security and SROs monitoring the hallways to make sure that we are practicing safe protocol throughout the building. If your student is sick, please do not send them on the bus or to school. If any students have been infected with the COVID virus, we would ask that you please report that to school immediately. Students with symptoms of COVID, if they are on campus, they will be identified with our medical staff, and we will have them kind of be housed in a care room until we get hold of parents to come pick them up. I just want to assure you that the care room is located close to the nurse's office, but it's also away from a majority of the staff and students that are on campus. All right, so student arrival and departures. So students will arrive in 3 different ways, actually 4. Now I forgot to put the walkers, but the 3 ways or 4 ways are student drop off, student drivers, buses, and also walkers. The drop off is on the west side. I will show you some pictures here in a minute on where that will be. Students will depart at 1:30 unless they have early release, like I was showing you on their schedules. Some students will be able to leave once their classes are done. Again, buses will depart at 1:30. All students will be screened upon arrival of campus. Student drivers, they will depart once all of their classes are done. And like I said, times will vary when students are leaving if they're the drivers. Student pickup, so if your parent or guardian is coming to pick you up, just like we've always done, our parent pickup has been down by the football stadium. And so again, you will need to make arrangements with your student so you'll know when to pick them up down at the football stadium. Okay, student drivers. So you will enter through the main guard shack. That's our main entrance. You will have your temperature taken at the gate. Only sophomores, juniors, and seniors may drive onto campus. You will need to get a parking pass, and you will need that information, registration, insurance, driver's license in order to have a pass. We are not going to charge a fee for passes this year just because we're limited on time. Students will need to see the SRO for getting a parking pass. And keep in mind that driving is a privilege. And so we want to make sure that you're doing what you need to do and being safe when you're driving onto campus. Another way to be brought to campus is your, again, student drop off. You will enter through the gate that I have shown here in this picture. It's the second gate when you're coming onto campus off of Emilio Lopez. So it's just north of our main gate. This gate will be opened. Parents will drive through there, drop your student off. Please remain in your vehicle, students, until someone has come by to take your temperature, and then you have filled out the questionnaire before you get onto campus. You will then walk around to the front of the building and go through the main entrance to get into school. And then we have our bus students. Bus students will enter in through the north gate of campus. So again, right there in this picture, you will see those gates right there. There will be people there to take your temperatures, and you will also do the questionnaire through your phone. Bus students should not enter through any other entrance, again, because we want to ensure the safety of everybody and make sure we get your temperatures taken. Okay, so if you notice, all around campus, we have arrows. There's going to be certain hallways that you can go one direction. There's stairwells. You can go up on some and down on others. So you're really going to have to get a feel for where your classes are and how you're going to get around campus. So before leaving classrooms, students and the staff will wipe down the desk and any equipment that was used. And then students will exit out and go to their next class. And again, they have to follow the arrows and making sure the traffic is going in the same direction as the arrows. Again, no sitting in close groups. For lunches, it will be a grab and go in the cafeteria. Students can eat in the cafeteria and outside, weather permitting. Again, students should not sit in groups. There will be no more than 2 students per table. This, our classroom transition, I just wanted to share this with you. This is in our LLHS reentry plan that was submitted to the state. It is also on the Los Lunas Schools webpage. And so this is just one of the pages out of it for you to just have for information, talking about some of our procedures. About their classroom seating charts. Students will all be sitting facing one direction. Masks, sanitation, bathroom breaks, kind of what I've already spoken to you about, but I just wanted to share this particular slide with you because our students will need to be following this, and that it's also in our official entry plan that you can read the whole thing if you go to the Los Lunas Schools webpage. Okay, senior dates. This is coming very, very quickly. I know some of you want answers, quickly, and we're working as we're finding out information as fast as we can. We just were notified this past week that we're going to be able to have a prom. It can only be outside. And so we have elected to have it at the courtyard, kind of like what we did for homecoming. It will be from 8 to 11 p.m. on May 1st. Mr. Anderson, our junior class sponsor, will be getting more information out to you about this event. Senior final exams will be May 3rd through the 7th. The rest of the school, your 9th through 11th, your semester exams will be that last week of school in May. For seniors, last day is May 7th. AP exams, these are the national AP exam dates. We don't get to select those. So your AP teacher will be in touch with you about the AP exams. Some of you have already signed up for them, so you know who you are for those. May 14th will be our senior checkout. We're going to do it drive-through style again through the front parking lot. Once we come onto campus, we're going to have our senior meeting, and we'll explain that in more detail to the seniors when we're all back on campus. We have decided, last year was a little bit different, and when this COVID hit, and our class of 2020, we did have a virtual graduation for them, but they did not get the opportunity to walk across the stage and have a picture with them getting their diploma. And so we are going to have just kind of a, a simple recognition ceremony on May 20th for those past seniors that graduated already, and we will get that information out if they would like to participate in that particular event, which is May 20th at 6 p.m. May 21st, we are going to be combining our robing and graduation ceremony. So we will do the practice for that May 21st at 8 a.m. on the football field. May 21st, that Friday, is the senior awards ceremony. At that time, we are also going to be doing the academic letters. We're just kind of combining all that together. It is also at 6 p.m. on the 21st. And then on May 22nd, we get to have our robing and graduation ceremony for the class of 2021 at the football stadium, and that will take place at 10 a.m. I do want to reiterate that we are at the mercy of the color of our county. Right now, we are at the yellow stage, and so that is 25%. And so at this point in time, students will be able to have 2 guests for the ceremony. That includes the robing, the awards ceremony, and then also the graduation ceremony. So right now they will have 2 guests. If we go to green, hopefully we will be able to have 4 guests. But again, right at this point in time, it's 2. We won't know how many guests until about 2 weeks prior to the ceremony. Also, we will be live streaming it. So for your families and friends that won't be able to come, the ceremonies will be streamed live so they can watch it from home. I did forget to put on here, we have our NHS induction, I believe is May 13th. That'll be at 6 p.m. in the courtyard as well. And so Miss Joni, those of you that will be inducted into NHS will be getting, or have already gotten, actually a letter. So you have information on that. Again, junior senior prom, May 1st from 8 to 11. Our courtyard, like I said, 25% at this point in time. The junior and senior prom is for 11th and 12th graders. We are not allowing guests from outside of the school for this year, just for the safety of everybody. Mr. Anderson, our junior class sponsor, will be in contact with students as far as tickets and other information. So be on the lookout for that. Students will need to have their student IDs in order to purchase tickets. So if you have misplaced your ID, you need to try and find it. I will have a station set up outside the library if you have lost your student ID. And that is all I have for you. Please feel free to call the school, email me. I will be happy to answer any questions that I can. I'm so excited to have our kids back. It's been really nice getting to even see some of the athletic events take place and getting to see our kids compete. I think I think everyone's just so ready for us to get back to somewhat of a normalcy to our lives. So again, I do want to reiterate that all this information is subject to change based on, health orders or however the state is going. So I hope we keep heading towards the green and the turquoise, and we get everybody back on campus soon. So thank you so much for listening, and everyone have a great day.